Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Well, she's the name on everyone's lips this morning. A shocking commitment ceremony last night saw Josh be let go from the experiment, with his wife Melissa still wanting to stay. What went on? It seemed quite extraordinary. Joining us in the studio right now to update us on where all of this leaves her is Melissa. Hello, Melissa.
Hello, Melissa.
Good morning.
Good morning. We'll start with this. How have you felt watching this so-called experiment play out on television? To live it and film it is one thing. To watch it go to air, how has it been?
You know, to watch it back last night is heart-wrenching because I can see how people can, see how upset Josh was. It was even upsetting for me to watch because I have to say I was completely blindsided. When people say, how did she not know? Or how did she not know how he was feeling? I'm serious, I did not know. What we do, these things called voxies. So he would break down in these voxies and I said it to my girlfriends, I felt like I was sleeping with like a secret assassin because he would break down in these voxies and then come back to me as if nothing happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's what he said when you were intimate with him on your wedding night. He said that he didn't do anything and you said...
How bad was that?
Well,
I was so...
But also I kind of got where he was coming from because he's not a guy that goes on TV and then says, I just had sex with her.
100%. One thing's first, we're on reality TV. Parts of your relationship is intimacy, so it's not all about your relationship. But, of course, reality TV are going to ask you, has he not watched the show before? Have you been intimate with your wife? You could have just said yes and moved forward. I feel like my character in the show was already planned out early. I feel like that they knew that I was comfortable to talk about sex, that I was open, and maybe I was too open and too vulnerable, and I just shared too much.
Yep.
And then they had paired me with Josh that didn't want to talk about it. I didn't even know his religious background. If he was that religious or that uncomfortable, why did he never mention on our wedding night that he wanted to not talk about it? So it was on day 5 on our honeymoon that he was like, oh my God, all she wants to do is have sex or talk about... That's not the case. It was just I was open to talk about it. And then he was trying to say that because he's religious, he's a perfect gentleman. Well, that was all news to me.
Right.
So do you think, there's a couple of things there, you say that you think that they had decided you were going to be the one that was open to talk about sex. You were going to be the freak in the sheets girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that they deliberately paired you with someone who you would have conflict about that.
Absolutely. I think it was just designed to just explode, and however long that we were going to last in the experiment, it was a matter of time. So there was lots of times in the experiment that I was compassionate and I was crying and caring, but you don't see those sides. It was purely focused around sex. And when we were having sex and when we weren't having sex, they weren't asking it, had we been to lunch, what he had spoken about. They don't want to air any of that. It was just purely about us having always confrontations about sex.
And that thing where you said freak in the sheets, which we've dined out on.
Yeah.
Well, I look like the girl next door, but I like to see myself actually as a little freak in the sheets.
Was that you that came up with that or did someone feed that to you?
No, yeah. So I was asked a question. We did a 2-hour interview at my house. It was amazing about life and love and why I'm on the experiment for. And then at the very end, it was like, so how do you see yourself? Are you vanilla or a freak in the sheets? So instantly I was like, I'm a freak in the sheets.
You've got to say vanilla.
Wow.
Well, yeah. But then they did set me up with someone very opposite. So we were just a time bomb that was waiting to go off.
Wow. At the end of every season, there are people like you who say, I wasn't happy with the way I was depicted and this experiment wasn't sincere. And yet people still want to go on the show.
Wow. What I would say to any future contestants now seeing it in the truth, what you got to do is just be authentically you, because you can't lie. The truth does eventually come out. And, obviously I do like to have sex with my husband, but where these little rabbit holes gone on, that I want to have sex with multiple men and that I'm up for anything is very, very far stretched.
And how does that manifest for you now when you're out in the streets?
It's disgusting. It's really bad. So this is the thing where it can be very damaging, because I would hate for all men in the world to think that I'm up for anything at any time, because that's not what I was about.
Because you haven't got weirdos coming up and say, hey, there's a Melissa, she's up for it.
Well, this is it. I do. And I have had people that have come to my business. It's really actually quite awkward. Thank God I wasn't there, because I'm actually not in the salon anymore. So anyone that wants to come to the hairdressing salon, I'm not there.
God.
So they'll never find me there. But obviously, going forward, it opens a real can of worms for, security and, questioning, yeah, sure, I want to have sex with my husband 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah.
My husband, not multiple men, or not an invite for everyone to have a free-for-all. And it's really
not
scary.
a free-for-all.
Yeah.
You're lucky you're a strong person because this could break people.
Agree. I really believe my resilience to this is phenomenal,
Yeah.
and this is why I will go forward with this. You won't see me backing away from it.
Yep.
Hopefully something amazing comes out and people come towards me and say, hey, she's very clear, she's very honest, you know, she's very sex empowering for men and for women. You know, like it's not... I don't feel at any time on the experiment that Josh was ever haggled to have sex with me. He, you know, the handful of times that we did, it was completely like...
Consensual.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. There was no, awkwardness about that. And that's what's really hurtful, that they're painting, or the public is, or these trolls are painting me in this monster.
Well, and also when you watch the show, I feel for him as well, because he's coming across as a bit of a dud, and he's probably not, and that's a bit unfair.
Yeah,
so.
but Josh and his interviews, I tried to go back to think, you know, why did they match us? And they were saying that because I'm, you know, so extrovert, or I'm so confident, and then Josh is not, I can see how that can be a good match, but when you don't know what the other one's saying behind the other one's back, and then you just watch it, like I'm sure that they saw this fuel going 2 different ways early on in the piece, but it just kept rolling.
I find when watching it, you're more prepared for this show than he
I
is
agree.
or was.
Look, I don't know, maybe this is what Josh has to come. I've been out of my marriage for 10 years. Josh is just separated with his wife, and I don't think he's even legally divorced. I don't feel, this is just my opinion, but who am I, you know? I don't feel like maybe he was ready to come on such a huge experiment, and I just think it broke him very, very quickly. And I just feel like if I had the opportunity to be with someone more like myself, or someone that was really ready, because come on, we're in the media and the social light, like you're going to get, even if you're the good guy or the bad guy, you're going to get a lot of heat.
It's got to be robust.
You've got to
haven't
be
you?
ready. And I just feel like he wasn't ready, and now it looks like that at my expense.
And do you feel, Melissa, if there was a button in front of you that says yes or no, would you have chosen to go on this show? What button would you press?
No. No. Why say no? I was saying like yes, the button yes. Okay, actually, Amanda, that's a good question. Sometimes I say yes, but then sometimes what I've seen last night, now I say no, because they edit, or they can't edit it. They only show parts of what they want the public to see. So now that you're portrayed as like a sex pest, or like, you just have to be, look, anyone going on reality TV, you just have to be sure and comfortable in yourself and really strong, because however they're going to make it seem, or only what they're going to show, is what you're portrayed to be. You know, a lot of people have a lot of time now to mend the damage. Thank God I'm strong enough that I feel like I will come back from this, and that the public and the world will see an amazing human that I am, and kind and compassionate. It might take some time, but they're going to see a very different version of me in real life compared to what they've seen on TV.
So what happens with you now? Where do you go now?
Well, this is it. Publicity.
Not OnlyFans. You can't do. No.
I have to let all the fans know out there, not that I'm against OnlyFans at all,
but you're not,
but
that's
you
not
will
for
not
you.
see me on those platforms. Okay. That is you will not see me on any of those platforms at all.
I just find it extraordinary. Last year, Olivia, that girl that was on there, she was a teacher, student teacher or something, and then all of a sudden she's on OnlyFans. And I thought, if you said to that girl when she was doing a university or whatever to be a teacher, hey, Olivia, here's what's going to happen to you in 5 years. You're going to be doing acts on Only. You're going to be a porn
it's
star.
the same thing Melissa's
odd.
just said, is you can't control the narrative. So you come out of this experiment and you think, these are the bits I can control.
Yeah.
So I can see why people would go, this bit I can own. You're going to paint me as that? I'll own. I can own my own narrative here. So Melissa, I just wish you well in resetting who you are, and I'm glad you're a robust person, because it's not for the faint-hearted, is it?
I agree, and there will be more to see of me. So I will not be going away anytime soon.
Well, great. Well, Melissa, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Look after yourself. Married at First Sight is back on again on the Channel 9 tonight.